Good day, happy travelers. Today we continue to ask important questions. This time we're looking at spring break 2024. I'm evaluating my options. I'm not a travel agent. I don't book travel for anybody except my family. But I'm asking these questions. You might be asking these questions. Which is cheaper? This time we're putting Disney against Disney. What's cheaper, Disneyland Paris versus Walt Disney World for spring break? All right, so to do this one, I had to compare like for like. Disney Paris is a little different. We were there in 2019, so like the all-star resorts that I typically do for these exercises when I'm comparing it against a cruise ship. We are trying to compare it like for like. So Disney Sequoia Lodge in Paris versus the equivalent. You can just walk from the Sequoia Lodge in Paris to the park and to the train station to get to Paris. So for this one, I'm using the similar Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. So we picked a week of spring break. This is probably a week in, maybe a week early, certainly a week earlier than Georgia, but it's as far out as Disney Paris will show me. And the prices honestly will be very comparable, 1-to-1. So for 4 folks, 7-day tickets, just no park hopper, nothing fancy, no Genie Plus, nothing, $5,508 for the Caribbean beach. If you're like, well, what about Coronado Springs? It was about $9 cheaper per day. But again, I want to pretend like I can walk to the park, so I'm taking the Skyliner access to 2 parks. So that's pretty good. I didn't take Contemporary Resort, which would have been remarkably higher, where I really could have walked to the park, or the Grand Floridian, which would have been higher still. We're doing airfare during spring break. Domestic, I just picked a city in the middle of the country. $572 per person for those same dates. So let's move on. Disney Paris, same dates, checking in on the 24th, checking out on the 30th for 4 folks, 6 nights, 7 days, 2 parks. That comes to $3,992. The Sequoia Lodge is it was a fantastic hotel when we were there. That's something if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a thing. So that's what we're comparing again. Now, here's the thing. What about airfare to Paris? So I'm here in Atlanta. If you're flying from New York, it's probably cheaper. But I'm just trying to, I pick something in the middle of the country. If you're flying from Chicago, probably cheaper, Detroit. So I'm probably on the little high side, but nevertheless, from Atlanta to New York, New York to Paris, Paris to New York back to Atlanta for these dates here. I picked United. Not that I don't like JetBlue, but I picked United as it's a little bit more of a bigger carrier. So those were the prices that I used. So what's cheaper? Well, we remember the $5,500 for Disney World. Airfare came to $2,200. We didn't include food on this slide. Hey, stay tuned. Disney has some stuff going on, so I'll show you that in the next slide. No transportation, no Genie Plus, just getting you there. $7,796 to Disney World, $3,992 to Paris for the hotel and passes to Paris, $2,800 for airfare to Paris. No food, no transportation, no Genie Plus. Obviously, they do have. If you upgrade, they do have something like the Golden Key kind of a thing. If you're at the Golden Forest, where you get to skip 2 or 3 of the lines. But in this case, Disneyland Paris is $928 cheaper. But you might be saying, whoa, travel hacks. That's neat. But what if food in Paris is more expensive? You're sending us over there. Now we're on our own to eat, and that's not very nice. Well, that's cool thing about Disney is, especially next year, they're bringing back the dining plan. So let's take a look at that. What about food? Food's important, and you might not even want to eat at Disneyland Paris. You might want to take the train to Paris. Like I said, the train station is right between the hotel and the entrance to the Disneyland park. All right, so let's take a look at some Disney World options here. Again, Disneyland Paris and Disney World kind of do 2 different things. You'll see on the next slide. So you got the quick service one, which is just walking up and you get hot dogs, essentially hot dogs and burgers at various places throughout the theme parks. Then they got the Disney dining plan, which is a table service and a quick service. So Disneyland Paris. Well, okay, so that brings the price up to $7,700. This is going to be the most comparable. The cheapest one at Disneyland Paris is this one, where they just offer breakfast. Then they got half board, which is the one that I selected. It gives you a buffet at your hotel, so you get to go to your hotel, and these buffets are pretty spectacular. It's like, think Crystal Palace, for example, or Tusker House. It's pretty spectacular, and so you go there. You get breakfast. I would probably eat breakfast. You get breakfast or lunch, or breakfast and dinner. I would probably do breakfast and dinner. Go eat breakfast. That's even perfect if you want to sneak down to Paris for the day. The train, like I says, probably a 30, 45-minute train ride. And it's one of those like bullet train kind of a things. You go down there, go see the Eiffel Tower, take some pictures, come back, eat dinner, go to the park, watch some fireworks at the castle, and you've had a pretty. Believe me, it's a spectacular day. So this is one that we picked because it's very comparable to the Disney dining plan option that we have here. So one table service, one quick service. Actually, frankly, the half board's better because it's a buffet, and you go ahead and get like a nice table service dinner at the park if that's what you would like. So that's to me, it's a little better. All right, so that is $71 per person, or $47 for kids under 11. All right, now we got to adjust our data. I didn't do this one. You could, you get the idea. You get all the meals all the time, but nevertheless, I went this one because it was more like for the Disney dining plan. So let's update our totals here. So one quick service, one table service is $2,263 on top of the old price, bringing the total price to $10,000 for Disney World, or $1,400 for breakfast and dinner at Disneyland Paris for 4 people, 6 days. And that brings the total up to $8,296, which means Disneyland Paris with food, the savings go even quicker. Or improve better, I suppose. So it's $1,700 cheaper than Disney World. So yet again, we have answered the question: which is cheaper, Disneyland or Disney World? And somebody who, man, I'm so close. I'm in Atlanta. I could probably drive down, although with gas prices, it's a little different for me. And I'm a pass holder. But seeing that with food, $8,000 for a week, and the experiences, Notre Dame, Notre Dame won't be opening next week. But the Louvre, taking the family to see Mona Lisa, I don't know. This is something that like I said, something I'm asking. Maybe it's something you're asking. And spring break's really not that far away. And with airfare being what it is, it's certainly noteworthy. So we've answered the question, and until I have another question, and if you ever, feel free to drop a comment. What do you want to see covered in the, something versus something? It doesn't have to be versus Disney. It could be a cruise versus a cruise. I haven't done a cruise versus a Disney cruise, mostly because that becomes rhetorical. A Disney cruise, there's very few things on Earth that are cheaper or more expensive than a Disney cruise, except maybe taking one of Jeff Bezos' spaceships to orbit. That might be a little bit more expensive than a Disney cruise, but we'll take it from there. All right, till the next video, travel safe.